Hello everybody, this is Maniac4Bricks. We're here today with Lennox because we have a double haul video from eBay. 2 packages, too big for the frame. We'll do one at a time. I thought I used tape a lot, but I see packages like this. It's like they made the package from tape. I don't think there's even any cardboard underneath here. Also, cheesy intro is cheesy intro. Well, starting things off, we have a lot of newspaper. So, Paper Factory, once again, arriving in a haul video. In case you don't know, I had a haul video previously that may have actually been a live stream, where I opened up something and had a lot of newspaper as packaging material, which, okay. But people thought only thing I got was paper because there's so much in there. So we developed the Paper Factory. It's a you had to be there sort of thing, but now you know. And knowing is half the battle. More references. I'm never done with referencing things not related to the channel. Ooh, okay, so I know what this is. Some of you know I watch The Gaming Historian, and I've met him before at a video game con. I talked about that a few weeks ago on a Friday's vlog. I saw this relatively recently on eBay, got a best offer, was able to knock down the price by a couple dollars, and I thought, yeah, I might try this out, for real. This is the Sega Pods. Obscure Sega stuff, and yet I don't have a Mega Drive, I never had a Genesis, maybe like a plug-and-play version of it. But the Sega stuff, the legit Sega stuff that I own now is just related to what nobody wants, or what nobody really cares for. So, assumed that it works. I just need some batteries for it. But yes, this is the Sega Pods. It's upside down. And this is supposed to be a motion sensor version of basically Simon, where you have like different patterns in between these 3 pods that you can try out and make it, you know, correspond. You can even play this with multiple people. You can check out the link up here for the Gaming Historian video about it. We'll see how this goes. Maybe I'll do a future video or live stream or something about this. Okay. I don't have any knife safety tips or scissor safety tips to offer. Not that kind of haul video. Okay, don't worry. This one is Lego. And this is another knockdown best offer sort of thing. So, found this on eBay, relatively cheap. Decided to get it a little bit cheaper. The seller agreed to sell it cheaper. Brickstar talked about it on a recent video that was actually a response to one of my videos. So, again, click up here at the iCard to see more about that. And Marty Man 23 also recommended it too. So I was like, yeah, I might as well look that up. And here we are. It is my first crack at a Lego Batcave in any form. And the instructions are included in here. This one in particular is the 2012 version. This is 6860. Honestly, I didn't really care for it a lot when it came out, after it came out, but I watched Brickstar's video about it. I saw him talk about the play features in a response to one of my videos, and Marty Man 23 also chimed in about it, and I was like, oh, I didn't know about that. So, I thought, well, if I can get it at a good price used, might as well pick it up. So, I'll put that one together. And no, it doesn't have any of the minifingers, but it should be complete as far as the pieces go. I'm not worried about the figures since I already have a majority of them from other things. I already have a Robin that is loose. Bane is from the Dimensions pack, so I already got him. And Batman, yes, I do have that Batman. The only one I don't have here is Poison Ivy. For some reason, I don't have any version of Poison Ivy, but I'm not really invested to get one. So, alright, let's go build this thing up. See how it turns out. So here we have the complete build. And honestly, it's pretty cool. It's not as big, and it's a lot more open than previous and later versions of the Batcave. But for what it is, it's still pretty good. And for what I paid for, I think it worked out very nicely. each of them have play features on different modules of this, so you can use them in tandem with each other, or you can use them separate. So, let's get into some of those play features. We have these 2 sliding doors on the sides, so you can enter and exit with a vehicle through there. Something that's roughly 12 studs wide, and I think 6 bricks tall, so you could probably fit other Batman vehicles through here, even villain vehicles if you wanted to. And the cycle works pretty well for the most part. It feels like it's a complete model, and it does have an awkward placement for some of the play features. Like, there's a lot of flick-fire missiles throughout this thing, and I feel like these are the most awkward, being like right next to the vehicle. But it's something that they did a lot of in 2012 when this was being developed and released in the public, so, you know, before stud shooters and before spring launchers. Although I would have preferred if they included something other than what they have for the alert signs, if they didn't use if they didn't use flick-fire missiles for those, and instead use something like a net, like they used in 2006. Maybe they would be a little bit better. Maybe a little bit cooler or something. Anywho, there's still a couple other play features to this thing. You have this walkway, which allows you to rotate which direction this building is in, so it's very good for whatever storage you want to set it up for, or if you want to have a certain display area. But what's also good is that it's easy to take this off, and you could use this as 2 separate buildings. They can be completely separate from each other, and it'll spread out the play area a little bit more. Even more than that, you have this area that can pop off, and it can be its own prison unit outside of this building. So, a lot more spread that you can do with these 3 modules. And I really do like that idea. I personally probably won't use it for that because I have a little bit more limited space for where this is going. But it's still a good idea for anyone who does have the space and wants to fit maybe other Batman vehicles and accessories around this. You also have this breakable jail cell, so the front of it can actually pop off if you give it the right effort. And it's relatively easy to move out, but a little bit hard to get the right, like, tug at it. It's not something that you could really use the drilling vehicle for. It's kind of more like how Lego City police vehicles work, where it's like, if you get something that could, like, tug against it, like, just hook around it a little bit, then it's easier to prop out, I guess, in a play setting. Speaking of that drill, let's talk about it a little bit. It's pretty compact, but it gets the job done. I really do like how this thing looks, and this is something you could easily use with, city mining vehicles or whatnot. It doesn't have to be specifically for Bane, just by the color scheme. So, it works very well. I do like the mechanism of the middle wheels moving to spin the drill. Pretty easy, and also looks very complete on the underside, too. Even though you don't see it that often. But it's something you could easily move throughout here and get the effect. I'd put this with other drilling vehicles if I set those up at a later time. Now we also have probably the thing that sold me the most on this set, the reason why I really wanted to pick it up, and that was the changing function. Before and after this set, there have been a couple different ways that LEGO has made changing features for Batcave. The 2006 one had this dual pod sort of thing, where on one side you have Batman, the other side you have Bruce Wayne, so you just kind of like spin it around, so it looks like it's changing. Then you have later versions, like in the LEGO Batman movie, where you have like a little rotating wardrobe. So all the bat suits are on there, and they just have like 1 or 2 headpieces that you change around to fit Batman into those suits. But then you have this mechanism, which honestly is really cool, and I would love to try to build this in another setting, like in a mock or something. Basically, you could sit Bruce Wayne up here, and inside of here is another area you can fit Batman. You'd have to set this up in advance. You have a pin in the back that you can pull out, and when you do, if you pull it out all the way, that is, you'll have this part drop down, and it'll have Batman featured in there. So it'll look like Bruce Wayne changing into Batman through here as one big elevator. And that's why I wanted to use this as another function outside of the set, because I've been trying for a while, once or twice, to develop an elevator on this channel, and I would like to use one in a building eventually, but I have yet to figure out something. And this seems like a very easy way to set it up. It's not a really big amount of building techniques to work this out. It's a lot of common pieces that could be easily put in here and make it all go together. The one thing I find weird is how this thing looks in the instructions. At the end of instruction book 2, it shows the completed model, this part of it that is, where the part you would sit Bruce Wayne is actually like flush with where the bat phone is. And if you look here, it actually sits about a few studs lower than that. So I know that I built this thing the right way. It doesn't look like it had any missing pieces, but it's strange to me that by the construction, it's a little bit lower. And I've asked people on Instagram a little while ago if that was something I messed up with, because I have messed up instructions before when trying to build sets, but it seems like the general consensus was it was some kind of error in the design of it. Like, if there was another plate or two inside of here to separate the two sections where one minifigure would sit and the other one would go in, then it would probably be more flush, like it was supposed to be before. But it's still not bad for what it is. It still gets the point across, even though it could have been a little bit better. And if I make it as a mock, I wouldn't necessarily do it as a changing station, but rather I would do it as like a very compact elevator or something. Like, it wouldn't be realistic, but not many of my mocks are. But it would be something that would basically have a winch on the top and try to raise and lower that in some way. But I like the way the shaft is done so that it has enough room to slide through there without getting stuck. I've played with this a couple times now before recording this video, and it works well just every time, and I don't really see it get stuck that often. The only reason why I did earlier is because I didn't pull the pin out entirely. See? So, we're all good there. So thank you for watching this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. You'll probably see a video later on about the Sega Pods, just with my experience with it, not a full review. And we'll see you next time with more LEGO videos.